Okay. We're apparently golden, pony boy. Should be anyway. I don't know. This computer just, I don't know. I'll make sure to wait. It says it's live. Are we going? Are we going? Let me check sure. This computer just, yeah, we have audio, boys. We got audio. So I'm just gonna keep an attention on the box here on the side in case you guys want to say anything. So over there a little bit. Hi. Alright, so just so we can keep an eye on the chat bar. Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome, this is Eternal, and the title may give away what we are going to be talking about today. And guys, how's it going? Welcome, this is Eternal, and alright, so basically this video is me very basic. It's gonna be just me going over my thoughts on Brigitte and how badly I think she's going to affect the Overwatch League coming up on the stage starting a week from today on the 17th. And I'm going to pull up a few of the matches coming up on here in the first week of that stage just to kind of roll through and see how much she's going to be used, how much she's going to affect the current meta, not in just the standpoint of regular Overwatch, what you and I play, but on the aspect of the Overwatch League teams that are playing right now and how their comps are going to be affected, and if anyone's actually going to use Brigitte. So, if anyone wants to comment down below, and we have a live chat going right now, so if you guys want to put in some input or ask a couple questions, whatever you want to do, it is a free-reign chat. You do what you want, and I'll be more than happy to oblige and talk with you guys. So, I'll go through my quick thoughts real quick. I do think there are quite a few teams that are going to jump into the Brigitte meta, and I think a lot of these are going to be teams that practice anti-dive. So, for example, how about a team that practices a lot of dive comp? We'll go with the Boston Uprising. They're extremely good at dive comp, and I feel like teams are going to practice Brigitte for the sake of beating a team like Boston, a team who went 10-0 in the regular season for Stage 3, or regular stage. Even though they lost in the stage playoffs, it's fine, because they went the distance. They wiped out every team they faced up until NYXL, because NYXL is NYXL. Even though Boston beat them previously. As a means of another team that I think is going to pull out the Brigitte, I believe we're going to see a lot of it from the Houston Outlaws as well. Just maybe that's for me, like knowing that team better than any other team. It's just, I feel like that's the kind of thing they would do. Like, I think that's what they would build a comp around. I couldn't say for sure what maps are they going to do it on. I'd say something more close range. I think they're going to keep everything similar to what they do on maps like Junkertown and Leauge, but I think on something like Route 66, which may or may not be in this new map pool, because we have a new map pool. So how about I'm going to pull up the... So we're going to pull up the stage one. We're going to pull up the Houston Outlaw and London Spitfire match going on the 18th. Yeah, our four maps are Kings Row, Horizon, we have Leauge Tower, and Watchpoint Gibraltar. Biggest map for her, I'd say, would probably be on either Kings Row or Horizon. I think if they include her, I think that'd be very beneficial for them. Same thing for London, though. London has been on this, just on this downward slope this whole time, this entire stage. And they need to really pick it up, because while they're still like playoff contention by quite a few wins, I'm not too sure about them anymore. Like they're a dominant team, but like all the bigger teams they've been facing this stage, they have just gotten wiped out, completely wiped out. And if I were to go through and quickly look at how they did this stage, just to do a quick overview, because I'm pretty sure they went either 3-7 or 4-6. They went... Actually, they went 5-5. Well, actually. Shoot, they didn't do terrible, but they started out terrible. Like, they started, like, right near the bottom, around where Shanghai and Fuel are at. And they kind of worked their way up with a couple more wins. It was good on them for doing that. Not the biggest fan of them, but I know a lot of people are. I know it's a very popular team. Same thing goes for, well, any other team that's in top contention right now. Like, I know there's a lot of Valiant fans now. There's a lot of Uprising fans. Anyway, I'm deriving from the topic, though. How badly is she going to affect the stage? I think pretty badly. I think we're going to see a huge meta change. We have more patches that are going to be going through, like the fixed Sombra is going to be put in accordance to Brigitte, whatever you want to call her. I heavily think they're going to put in the newest version of her. I don't think they have any reason to put in the original version of her. Ooh, camera is lagging out like a little bitch right now. How about you don't do this? How about we just have a regular conversation? Come on now, don't be like this. Okay, let's just do it from here. That's gonna be the better idea. I'll keep an eye on the comment box still. But if you guys are experiencing some sort of like lag right now, or you think my camera's like cutting in and out, please let me know so I can try to fix it. So to keep adding into what I was saying, she's going to heavily affect the stage for comp, heavily. Like I said, I do think teams like Houston is going to need to practice it. I think for the sake of Boston defending, they're going to need the Brigitte. Because I feel like the one way you're going to beat a Brigitte is with another Brigitte. I think it's basic science. It's like one team pulls out a widow, the other team's going to pull out a widow. I think this is basic logic that way. How badly it's going to affect certain teams. Like I said, Boston, while they are a great team, they specialize in dive comp. And I think they're going to have to turn this around a little bit because a lot of teams are going to practice this. I think Florida is going to be one of the biggest teams to practice Brigitte. I think they definitely need to go on the up and up right now. They don't have any way of making it to the playoffs anymore, but they definitely have a chance to take on some big teams and beat some big teams. I think this is something Shanghai should practice as well. Not out of me thinking they're going to, me thinking they should. I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, they need to go. They need to practice Brigitte more. I think they'll especially need it for Season 2 coming up next year. I don't know what new teams are going to be introduced. I don't know if Shanghai's even going to stick around after that when they're 0-30 right now. I would like to see them stick around because it's not like if the team goes completely like no wins. It's not like we're going to kick them out of the league. It's not like, oh, Lions go 0-16. We're not kicking them out of the league. The Browns go 0-16. We're not kicking them out of the league. It's not that simple as, oh, if the team's doing bad, let's just kick them out, replace them with a better team. If you want to put in more teams into the Overwatch League, like if you want to change it from 12 to 16, that's perfectly fine. You go for that. You do that. I would support that all the way. I would love that idea. And you can include more people in like stage playoffs. Because say you had 16 teams, you could cut that threshold up to even 8. And just have like I said, have certain teams have first round buys. So that it just goes tournament style. I feel like that'd be a fun way of doing it. But like everyone had a problem with before, they tried squeezing a whole day of games and then playoffs into a single day, and it didn't work out. But I keep deriving from the very topic in which I was stating before about Brigitte, how much it's affecting Stage 4. I think we're going to see a lot of teams step up here. Like, I'm going to pull up what the results were for Stage 3. And like I said, I think this is going to be a big factor for Boston. I don't think they're going to go 10-0 again. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Shanghai are going to pick up their first win. I think this is something they have been practicing. But don't hold me to it because I don't know it for a fact. If I knew it for a fact, I would like do a whole confirmation thing. San Francisco Shock is about to jump up right now. I definitely think they're about to shoot up a little bit. They went 6-4. They were close to making these playoffs for the Stage 3. And overall, they're not going to make it, but they have been putting up a hell of a fight. Seoul Dynasty is just going to keep being Seoul Dynasty. I have no words for Dynasty anymore. They've kind of slipped below this radar from going into Stage 1, this dominant team who eventually lost their last couple of matches, went 7-3, went 7-3 again. This stage they went 5-5. And right now, contention-wise, they're in 4th, but they're not, like, up there. Like, they're a bad win away from dropping. A very, very bad win, of course. Which I would hate to see Seoul drop out of this. Really would. But to keep adding in, more teams that are going to practice this, like I said, I think the lower teams like Florida, Shanghai, Shock, Fuel, I think they have nothing to lose in this scenario. and they should really go for it. I feel like you have no reason not to, because this last stage right now should be about practicing new comps, getting yourself more together as a team, because then you're going to have a whole, like, half a year to get your shit together and start forming as a team better and start working together more, dropping a couple players, bringing in some. I feel like a team like Shanghai doesn't need to bring anyone out or bring anybody in anymore. I think it's the same way for Florida. I think heavily Fuel needs a new lineup, because goddamn, Fuel has some of the no, I would say the worst teamwork, even worse than Florida and Shanghai. That's very, like, weird to say, but I entirely agree with that statement. Another team that's going to be affected heavily, Philadelphia Fusion. I think Brigitte comp is definitely something they would practice. It's not something I feel like they would use often. I feel like they would use it more or less on payload maps. I could definitely see them using it on payload maps, yeah. That would go for a lot of other teams too. Anyone else I've mentioned, like Boston, like Houston, Shanghai, Florida, all of them. I definitely feel like that's something they could go for and something they should go for. NYXL, I think NYXL's just going to keep doing their thing right now. I think they're going to be practicing anti-Brigitte comp, like, more than actually learning Brigitte. I feel like they don't need to use her. I feel like they'll do fine without her. They're already going to make the playoffs, regardless of what happens here. And I think they just need to take that, and they just need to take the ball, run with it, just get into these playoffs and move forward. And the cutoff is coming soon. And, you know, this video isn't too more so about Brigitte, but also about, like, how much things are going to change in this last stage and how important it is for so many teams. Like, to throw this out there, Dallas, Florida, and Shanghai are completely out of contention. There's zero way they can make it. San Francisco Shock, theoretically, can make it still. Very low chances with a -14 drop right now. So, they're in 9th. It's still possible. Anyone above that is still in contention right now. Philadelphia, like, right now, like Valiant, Fusion, Outlaws, Gladiators are going to be fighting heavily for that 5th and 6th spot. I feel like Boston's going to hold, London's going to hold, New York is going to hold. I think Seoul is going to be iffy. I think it's going to be a big match for Seoul. These first couple games are going to be really big for them, and they need to just dominate. Like, if you want me to pull up who they're facing the Valiant in the first day, and their third day they're facing the Shock. So it isn't terrible. They have a good chance there. But if I remember, LA beat them before. LA definitely beat them. Adding more to other teams that I don't think I brought up yet. Let's talk about the LA Gladiators and how they're going to do this. The Gladiators, I don't think they need to practice it. It wouldn't hurt to practice it. Go for it, by all means. I think their comp is very suitable right now, and I think they've really picked it up on this stage and last stage a little bit. Because here's the thing, they've never really been a terrible team. They've always been in, like, a good contention. They've always been fighting very hard. Hydration and Asher are freaking awesome. I want to throw that out there. I'm a big fan of Surefour as well. And I think they're going to continue doing what they do. Do I think they're going to make it into the, like, overall playoffs? I think they could. I think it's possible. They'd have to. They're like on the same boat that Houston's in right now. They're down. They're 2 wins below Philadelphia, who has the 6th spot. Both teams have to go on a tear to get up there, and even then, you'd have to knock out LA as well. The Valiant, anyway. It's like, I don't know. It's still anyone's game right now, outside of, like, you know, the bottom 4 at this point. Because Shock's not gonna pull out a 10-0 this season. If they, I'll make a promise to you guys right now. If San Francisco Shock, well, this will be clipped. I don't care. If San Francisco Shock goes 10-0 this stage, I will donate $100 to breast cancer awareness. If the San Francisco Shock goes 10-0 this season. Now, I know that sounds like a very, very long shot, but that's kind of the point of it. But hey, you can clip that. You can hold that against me if they somehow pull it off and make it into the playoffs. Go ahead. I won't mind. Adding in a little bit more, I'm going to do a quick overview of each team as I go by, like starting from the bottom to the top, seeing what they're going to do. I've gone through most of the teams already, but I feel like I'm going to go through each one individually once more, very briefly. Shanghai will definitely be practicing Brigitte comp. They have nothing left to lose. They're 0-30. Just practice more comps, see what's going to work. Same thing for Florida Mayhem. It's not going to hurt you to try it at this point. It'd be nice to get in some more wins for you guys to be practicing more, getting better. Same thing will go for Dallas. San Francisco Shock, it's not something they're going to practice. I feel like they are very reliant on what they did this stage, and I think they're going to stick with what they got. I don't think they need to practice Brigitte. But by all means, I won't say, like, oh, they shouldn't practice Brigitte, or that'd be a terrible idea. I think every team's going to have some kind of configuration with it. Moving on to the LA Gladiators, not something they're going to heavily practice. I think they're very solid with their comp right now. Moving on to the Houston Outlaws, Brigitte will definitely be practiced. By who? I don't know. Maybe we're going to see Boink pull it out. Maybe we're going to see Raucus. Oh, I'd love to see Raucus on Brigitte. Oh yeah. Yep, I'm gonna call that Raucus on Brigitte. That's going to be a fun one. Philadelphia Fusion, I think they will practice it as well. I think they will heavily need it for these upper teams right now to keep themselves in contention. Can't say who would play Brigitte, though. That's a tough one for me. LA Valiant are going to stick to what they're doing. Soul Dynasty is going to practice. I believe they're going to practice the Brigitte method, and I think they're going to use it. I think they need it. They lost their step this stage, I think. They didn't do nearly as good as Soul Dynasty should be doing. They were, like, almost all the way through stage 1, the most dominant team. And then they got beat by NYXL. Then they got beat by London, and they just dropped. We go with the London Spitfire. London needs to practice this. They're in a good spot right now. They're in the third seed right now. So they are in a very good spot for the playoff contention, but bad losses will send them down. It takes a couple of really bad losses. Like, if they lose both their games coming up here, which I think they're facing Houston and Boston, who are tough teams, and they've had trouble with, like, London's had trouble with both teams in the past. Houston has beaten London every single time they fought each other, except for Stage 1 playoffs. Rest in peace. The only time we're going to make it to playoffs. Yeah, London definitely needs to practice this. Boston doesn't need to practice Brigitte. They need to practice anti-Brigitte comp. You need to work around. If you want to still run dive comp, you go for it. Like I said, not every team is going to pull out a Brigitte if they know Boston's going to run a dive. But something needs to stop Boston. And everyone needs to practice at that. Everyone needs to work towards that. Let me know if you guys agree about that, because I heavily agree on that one. NYXL, last but not least, is going to keep doing what they're doing. They've gone 9-1 every stage. They get beat by a single team every time because they've lost to... Who have they lost to now? They've lost to the Fusion. They've lost to Boston. No, yeah. Boston, Fusion, and London. They've all lost to them. So that's my quick overview of that. As I would project who I think is going to make it to these Stage 4 playoffs, well, that is a story for another time. But if you want my clear understanding, NY's making it. I think London's going to pull it out of their arse, and I think they're going to get in. This isn't biased by any means. Houston will probably make it. It's not biased. I get it. I'm an Outlaw fan. I fully understand that when I do this, I have to throw bias completely out the window. And I try my best to do that, and I think I've done that. And I have been, like, hyping up the Outlaws so much, like, oh yeah, they're going to be the best at the Brigitte comp. They're really going to do good this time. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I have confidence they're going to play well. I have confidence every team is going to play better, and they've been playing better since Stage 1. And that goes especially for teams like Florida who have been taking more maps. Teams like Philadelphia went from like a mid-card team who has now just been going with flying colors, especially in Stage 2, just like ripping it up in Stage 2. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I would want to talk about this stuff more. I don't have too much time left remaining, but I would like to take any kind of questions, any kind of thoughts, anything you feel you would want me to know or anyone to know about how you feel about what's going on here. So, by all means, the single person that's in here right now. The singular person. Oh, I should have posted this somewhere. I really should have. I mean, not that, like... I mean... What is Kiki? Why is Kiki? Oh, little quick news that y'all have probably heard already. Kiki, who is a former coach for, I think, was it was either the Shock. No matter who it is, the Houston Outlaws just picked up Kiki as their newest Outlaws coach. So, suck on that, guys. Because we got a new coach. Woo! And I don't know how much that's going to affect the Stage 4, but I feel like it's going to do nothing but benefit the Houston Outlaws. As for other teams, I don't know if they've picked up new members. I haven't seen anything on Twitter. I'll update if things happen. But that's all I've got for today. Doesn't seem like any questions are going to be coming through. I'll come by at a better time, perhaps. I do have to get ready for work. I do have to go to my job. I have to live my normal life. If I can figure out the live stream tonight, I think I'll try for it. I think if I can get it so it's not super laggy, it'd be a lot of fun to do. Yeah. That's all I got for this video, guys. But thank you guys for watching this quick little live stream. Like I said, I'll try to get stuff out in the next week. Kind of talking about how Stage 4 is going to go. Getting into more detail as to how I feel about specific teams. Who I feel is going to do better and worse, like outside of the whole Brigitte thing. If someone's going to keep dominating, if someone's just going to keep losing. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you guys for watching this, though. I'll try to get a live stream up on the actual computer playing Overwatch soon. Hopefully we can get that done and out of the way. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay awesome. Peace, peace, guys. We'll stop the stream. Yes.